G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I have another foreign movie review for you all. This is from Germany, German language English subs, released in the year 2009, directed by a very famous Austrian director, Michael Haneke, and this movie is called The White Ribbon. And the story to The White Ribbon is as follows. A village in Protestant northern Germany, 1913 to 1914, on the eve of World War I. The story of the children and teenagers of a church and school choir run by the village schoolteacher and their families. The baron, the steward, the pastor, the doctor, the midwife, the tenant farmers. Strange accidents occur and gradually assume the characteristics of a ritual punishment. Who could be responsible for such bizarre transgressions? So what we have, the movie is set on the eve of World War I in northern Protestant Germany. It's a very secluded village, and this village has been heavily influenced by the Word of God. There is a local pastor who likes everything to be innocent and pure. However, his desire has not been met when a series of very bizarre accidents start occurring. Now, these accidents are more than a coincidence, and eventually they take the characteristics of a ritual punishment. So somebody who they don't know, they know it's someone in the village, but they don't know who, but these people, whoever they are rebelling against the way that the village is run. So it really does symbolize something far greater, which I'll go into a little bit later. But who is responsible for these bizarre accidents, that is left, I'm going to leave that up to you to find out for yourself, because that is as far as I'm going with a synopsis. So hopefully that little rundown has given you some interest. Now, my thoughts on this movie. A very, very important film, and I think that this is by far Michael Haneke's best work. Now, I say that because I wasn't a fan of Michael Haneke before. I think Michael Haneke is very pretentious, he's very arrogant, and he preaches words rather than letting you watch it. He's kind of making you feel bad about watching his films, and some of his films in the past have been fairly shocking, but I couldn't help but feel that he was asking a question as to why you're watching it rather than letting you actually sit through and watch it without feeling guilty. So for that reason I was put off Michael Haneke, but I had my hesitations coming into this one, but I thought I'm going to give him another chance, and I'm so glad he did, because this is by far his best movie, and as a result of what he has done with this film, I actually regard it as a masterpiece. Now, what I loved about it so much is that it's so chilling, but it's done in such a subtle way. This symbolizes so much more than innocence in just a very small community. It's the loss of innocence of a whole country, and it's a prequel to what was to become the Third Reich, and the generation that was leading up to the Third Reich. So it's loss of innocence. The white ribbon symbolizes innocence. So it's obvious that it's saying, the innocence that Germany once had was going to be completely torn away by the actions of some people, which is exactly what happens in this movie. The innocence of the village was tarnished once these people decided to do what they were doing. So it's a very, very subtle message, but it is a message that is very, very chilling, and therefore makes it so much more than just an ordinary drama mystery. It is, in fact, a horror film, in my opinion. A lot of casual movie fans are not going to get the horror element in this movie. You probably find it boring, but if you can look under a surface and you like films that are very, very multi-layered, then you're going to get a lot out of this one. This one was brilliant. It goes for 2 hours, so be very careful of that, but at no stage does it get boring. Each and every character is done finely. They're very separate from each other, but the thing about the movie is that it had such a tense and cringe-worthy atmosphere. All the interactions between the villagers were very awkward, and you couldn't help but feel very uncomfortable throughout the entire length, because although it appeared to be a normal village, something was very, very wrong underneath, which once again symbolizes a country that, very bad things were going to happen. It hadn't happened yet, but they were going to happen. So this really is a movie about the country of Germany. Now, all of this awkwardness was further intensified by the fact that Michael Haneke decided to use black and white in his film, and I actually thought that gave it a certain level of beauty, charm, but at the same time, very depressing and very, very chilling atmosphere. The acting was absolutely fantastic. I'd never seen the actors before, so I can't comment as to whether or not they are very well-known actors in Germany. For the German viewers of my videos, you're going to know that better than I did. But yeah, Michael Haneke casted it perfectly, especially the children in the film. Now, the children in the film had a very mysterious and a very chilling quality. Now, I'm not going to tell you whether it was the children or the adults who were to blame, but this movie really reminded me of a horror film. Now, I'm not going to tell you what horror film, but if you want to know, please feel free to PM me. But the horror film, this is a very similar sort of touch on that horror film, but it's done in such a very unique way that it's very, very, very subtle, so it's very easily missed. So I really, really appreciated that sort of aspect to the movie. There's no on-screen violence, so if you're a fan of gore, you're going to be highly disappointed, but it's what's implied that makes it so powerful, and that's down to the very, very superior quality of script work. The script was absolutely fascinating, and it kept me enthralled throughout the entire length of the film, and that rarely happens to me. Sometimes I need a little bit of action to get through a 2-hour movie, but this one didn't really have action. It didn't really have on-screen violence. It was the threat of violence. It was the threat that something really bad was going to happen. And as I kept saying, it is an indication of what Germany was about to become. So yeah, all in all, even the soundtrack was very holy, which matched the atmosphere. And it is a movie about God. It's a movie about the loss of innocence. And if you like, as I said, if you like your movies with a lot of layers, then you're going to really appreciate this one. But I must stress that this is only for the more hardcore sort of psychological drama fans, because you're going to miss the subtleties if you're not concentrating. So all in all, I'm giving this one a solid 5 out of 5. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I am highly recommending it to anyone out there who likes the work of Michael Haneke. And if you don't like the work of Michael Haneke, then maybe this is the film that makes you a fan, because it's certainly the case for me. This is an absolute masterpiece, and it is a very, very important film that everybody should watch. So that's my review of The White Ribbon. 5 out of 5. It's an absolute masterpiece. Alright guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.